Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Minister of Electronics and IT Communication and Law and Justice, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, distinguished guests and all the esteemed speakers and participants from across the globe. I would like to welcome everyone to RAISE, Responsible Artificial Intelligence for Social Empowerment 2020. Artificial intelligence has been the catalyzing the technological landscape, pushing further the envelope of human possibility. Its impact is universally being felt across all sectors. Its influence is expanding and redefining the bounds of human achievement. The future development and progress of the world is intricately linked with leveraging AI knowledge to push social empowerment. India is very uniquely positioned to take advantage of the AI revolution. With more than 600 million internet users, there's a lot of data which is generated, something that lies at the core of AI development. Our data costs are the lowest in the world. India's unique diversity in terms of language, culture and development challenges is representative of many other countries and makes India the perfect garage for the development of solutions which can address global challenges. On top of all this, India's digitization efforts, driven by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, through Aadhaar, UPI, GST, and now the National Digital Health Mission and other such public digital infrastructure have created a unique opportunity for artificial intelligence to be leveraged to increase transparency and improve governance outcomes while safeguarding personal data and privacy. RAISE 2020 has over 60,000 plus participants from 139 countries and is the biggest and the most content-rich artificial intelligence conference in the world. We have gathered here to define a new roadmap, one which leverages artificial intelligence to not merely facilitate economic development, but also usher transformation through social empowerment. I would like to welcome all of you to this historic gathering, this summit which will pave the way for India to become a superpower of solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, a glimpse of RAISE, Responsible Artificial Intelligence for Social Empowerment 2020 through this brief film.
There has never been a better time for artificial intelligence. With big data, cloud, and seamless connectivity, digital voice assistants, smart robotic devices, real-time navigation. The world is ready to explore the potential of this single largest technology disruptor. From defense, healthcare, agriculture, education, transportation, space. The impact of AI has augmented human capabilities to a massive extent. Artificial intelligence for Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Technology opens an entirely new sphere and sector for growth. It also opens an entirely new paradigm of opportunities.
Artificial intelligence is all set to contribute $967 billion to India's economy by 2035. India projects a tremendous potential to be the next big hub for the experimentation, testing and development of AI technology. Besides the abundance of talent and latest technologies, India has the rich reserve of public data, which together are the growth drivers in AI investments and innovations. For the economy's explosive growth and inclusive social empowerment through AI-assisted healthcare facilities, real-time advisory, smart education and infrastructure. Welcome to India, a garage for artificial intelligence-powered products and services. AI to unleash its true potential. Tune in to the next 5 days of Global Artificial Intelligence Summit, RAISE 2020. Responsible AI for social empowerment.
So for the inaugural session, we have present with us several luminaries. Arvind Krishna is Chief Executive Officer of IBM. He has been leading IBM's effort to build artificial intelligence, cloud, quantum computing, data-driven solutions, and blockchain. Wired magazine selected Arvind Krishna as one of 25 geniuses who are creating the future of business. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Arvind Krishna.
Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Minister Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, CEO of Niti Aayog Mr. Amitabh Kant, and Secretary Meti Ajay Soni, thank you for convening this important event. It is my privilege to speak at the 2020 RAISE Summit. AI is one of the biggest technology revolutions of our time, and I am convinced that India is uniquely positioned to lead. The innovation engine of the technology industry is no longer Moore's law, but data. In the same way that we electrified factories and machines over the last 100 years, we will infuse AI into software and systems in the 21st century. At a global level, AI will unlock $15.7 trillion in productivity by 2030. Yes, that's a really big number. But AI has the potential to not only boost economic growth, but improve the livelihoods of millions around the world. Let me give you a few examples, starting with agriculture. Globally, the world will need to feed 2 billion more people with no increase in arable land by the year 2050. In India, IBM is collaborating with the local government in the state of Karnataka and Niti Aayog to deploy precision agriculture solutions that combine AI and weather data to help farmers make better decisions. This platform's critical capabilities were developed by our teams in India. Another area with massive potential is education. With AI, we can automate the most time-consuming tasks for teachers like marking and record keeping. This can also help improve the student-teacher ratio in every class. I firmly believe that India can lead the AI technology revolution. India has the world's largest community of developers, a large startup ecosystem, and a strong scientific and engineering culture. And I have to congratulate the government on digital innovation. There's the success of the UPI system, which has broken the barrier of more than 1 billion transactions per month. The electronic delivery of government services, DBTS, the Direct Benefit Transfer Scheme, or the BharatNet program to create a robust internet infrastructure. Coupled with the exponential growth of mobile, the increase in digital literacy, and programs that have given access for millions to the banking system. To add to the government's remarkable efforts, I'm happy to announce that we are creating an AI Center of Excellence in partnership with the Government e-Marketplace, or GeM. Our goal is to apply the power of AI to improve usability and transparency and drive efficiency and cost savings in public procurement. Getting AI done right can be difficult. We're only at about 4% into the journey globally. Our point of view at IBM is that greater adoption of AI is driven by data, trust, and skills. And this is where India should focus its efforts. Looking at data, the premise is to run AI, we need good data. And like other sources of capital, the value comes from how you refine and apply it. As Amitabh mentioned, there's a lot of data in India. The second imperative is trust. This is paramount, especially when you apply AI in highly regulated and safety critical domains like healthcare. Installing trust in AI means avoiding bias, being explainable, and being able to reproduce results. And the third and final imperative is skills. Building AI models can be a labor-intensive task, and there's a massive skill shortage on AI. I'm really proud of the investments IBM is making in the future of Indian skills. Through the IBM STEM for Girls initiative, we're teaching 80,000 girls across India how to code and build AI models. And our goal is to reach 200,000 students by 22. Earlier in July, we also collaborated with the CBSE to integrate AI into the high school curriculum of 200 schools across India. All of this will harness the immense energy of India's youth and help the country apply the power of AI to solve deep societal problems. Let me close by reiterating IBM's readiness and commitment to partner with the government on bringing AI to bear. AI, together with hybrid cloud, and in the not so distant future, quantum computing, will have a profound impact on every sector of society. I'm eager to see India push this transformation forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna. Mukesh Ambani is one of the most prolific entrepreneurs of our times who has focused on the intersection of society, technology, and enterprise. His biggest achievement has been to transform his company from a petrochemical business to a tech and digital company in the span of just a few years. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mukesh Ambani.
Most respected Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, Shri Amitabh Kant ji, Shri Sani ji, my esteemed fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege to speak at this global summit. Artificial intelligence is indispensable for India's tryst with her digital destiny. Therefore, Honorable Prime Minister, this summit is yet another testimony to your visionary leadership. 6 years ago, sir, you launched the Digital India Mission and made it a top national priority. And the results have been spectacular. First, India has delivered 4G broadband coverage to more than 99% of our citizens. We have gone from 155th in the world to number 1 in mobile data consumption. With 5G round the corner, India will maintain its leadership position. Second, thanks to your BharatNet initiative and the priority of connecting every home and workplace, India is now rolling out a massive pan-India optical fiber network connecting not only all our cities and towns, but each of our 6 lakh villages. This will put India among the top nations in fixed broadband as well. Third, through your Make in India initiatives, we are now creating the capacity for affordable manufacture of all necessary digital devices, sensors, and equipment in our own country. Fourth, India is becoming a leading nation in compute power with world-class data centers. Along with IoT, this is laying the groundwork for smart platforms that will converge physical and digital domains and boost productivity and efficiency to unprecedented levels in all sectors of our economy. We now have all the crucial components in place to make India a premier digital society. Together, our economy and society will generate data at an explosive and exponential rate. Data is the raw material for artificial intelligence. Intelligent data is the digital capital. It is a vital national resource. In the past, nations have competed on physical capital, financial capital, human capital, and intellectual capital. But in the coming decades, nations will increasingly compete on digital capital. India has the unique advantage to harness its enormous digital capital for AI-driven development, which is bottom-up and inclusive. This is because of our twin strengths of democracy and demography. When 1.3 billion Indians are digitally empowered, they will unleash a proliferation of new digital enterprises that will create faster economic growth, greater prosperity, high quality employment opportunities, and better standards of living across all sections of our society. We are confident that the government will introduce sound data regulation framework to protect this national resource and ensure data privacy. Therefore, the time is ripe and the tools are ready to make India a world leader in artificial intelligence and to make artificial intelligence work for all Indians. It is important to understand the epoch-changing importance of AI. The advent of modern artificial intelligence is comparable only to the birth of intelligent life on our planet. In the coming decades, the total non-biological intelligence will exceed the rational intelligence of the entire human population. But this does not mean that AI will replace the human mind. It never can, it never will. Rather, AI and associated technologies of the fourth industrial revolution will vastly expand our capacity to solve the most complex and pressing problems before India and the world. Specifically, AI will enable India to move faster towards achieving the 5 ambitious goals set by our Prime Minister. First, of transforming India into a high growth economy on its path to $5 trillion. Second, of making our industry and our small businesses Atmanirbhar and dominating new global value chains. Third, of modernizing Indian agriculture and multiplying the income of our farmers. Fourth, of delivering high quality and affordable healthcare to all Indians. And fifth, of delivering world-class education, skills and training and talent enrichment to every Indian, including those in the remotest parts of rural India. Ladies and gentlemen, this summit is rightly called the RAISE Summit because it raises our hope and confidence that the hardships and the hurdles caused by the corona pandemic will be temporary. India has the resilience and the resolve to bounce back and progress faster than ever before. The very purpose of this summit is to make India future ready. Honorable Prime Minister, Indian industry is ready. Indian youth are ready. Indeed, the entire nation is ready to implement an agenda that will promote artificial intelligence for a strong, sustainable, and equitable new India. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambani. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker has been active in artificial intelligence research for over 5 decades in the areas of artificial intelligence, speech understanding, image understanding, robotics, multi-sensor fusion, and intelligent agents. He is the greatest guru and one of the foremost minds in the area of artificial intelligence. He is a Turing Awardee, Padma Bhushan recipient, former co-chair of the US President Information Technology Advisory Council. Over to you, Professor Raj Reddy.
Most respected Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Minister for IT and Law Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, Shri Arvind Krishna, CEO of IBM, Shri Mukesh Ambani, Chairman of Reliance, Shri Amitabh Kant, CEO of Niti Aayog, and Shri Ajay Krishna Sahani, Secretary for MIT. Good evening. Today, we can do things that were impossible to do 50 years ago. Using AI, anyone can translate from any language to any language, ride in a self-driving car, and play chess at grandmaster level. Looking forward, we can expect AI to help to eliminate lockdowns, replace one-size-fits-all education by personalized education based on individual student capabilities and interests, watch any movie and talk to anyone in any language, and empower the people at the bottom of the pyramid who cannot read to shop online, pay bills online, and watch movies in any language. This is just a consequence of the recent advances in AI. We now have smartphones and smartwatches that are equipped with temperature and oxygen and other biomedical sensors that are able to identify infected persons and assist in their isolation in hours rather than in days. There will be no need for COVID lockdowns in the future. If everyone has a smartphone with the necessary sensors. By monitoring taps and keystrokes of a student on a smartphone or a laptop, AI can predict whether a student is in class, whether he is paying attention, daydreaming, or struggling. This data can be used to devise a personalized curriculum based on the student capabilities and interests, rather than one-size-fits-all education that we now have today. And if justified, we can have a student learn without a teacher, like Ekalavya. Today, if a person speaks in German, a smartphone can recognize and transcribe that speech. This is then transmitted to the listener's phone, where it can be translated and synthesized into French using text-to-speech technology. In the future, you will be able to interact with anyone, anywhere, in any language using this speech-to-speech translation technology. The same technology can be used to overcome India's language divide. For this, we need 100,000 hours of speech and 100 million words of text for each language. Using spoken language assistants like Alexa from Amazon, people at the bottom of the pyramid who cannot now read will be able to shop online, pay bills online, bank online, watch videos in any language for entertainment and education online, and access free information from diverse sources such as Wikipedia and Khan Academy online. All we need to do is encourage industry to develop Indian language Alexas and task-specific spoken language apps. Before we can fully realize these aspirations, there are some prerequisites. We need a connected population. Every household should have a smartphone, tablet, or laptop, and a fiber connection with unlimited capacity instead of the current restricted wireless options. We need a population that has been trained in digital literacy and learning to learn tools. This can be done very easily online with video tutorials. Finally, the government, industry, and academia should work together to create the necessary Indian language data sets, translation systems, and dialogue apps. By the way, I want to congratulate Mukesh ji for initiating fiber to the home and for initiating the manufacturing of the devices at low cost. This will go a long way towards these types of needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Reddy. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad is not merely the Minister for Law and Justice and the Minister for Electronic and Information Technology and Communication, but is also a passionate driver of change and transformation through technology. Honorable Minister, please.
Respected Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Professor Raj Bhatt, Mr. Mukesh Ambani, Mr. Arvind Krishna, Mr. Amitabh Kant, Ajay Sahni, friends across the globe, my greetings. We very deliberately and consciously chose the theme of this interaction, Responsible AI for Social Empowerment, RAISE for short. It is very assuring to note that it has generated such extraordinary interest globally, and as Amitabh rightly said, 60,000 participants from 139 countries are participating. Our Prime Minister is passionate about transforming the life of ordinary Indians through the power of technology. And when he gave us the theme of Digital India, 6 years down the line, we see how it has improved governance, be it digital delivery of services, direct benefit transfer, e-hospital, digital market for farm produce, or digital literacy or digital payment. Just to give one example to our friends from across the globe who are listening to this digital interaction. In the direct benefit transfer, we have transferred close to $172 billion into more than 370 million bank account of the poor for various welfare measures. And we have saved close to $23 billion, which used to be pocketed by middlemen and fictitious claimants. Direct improvement of good governance and good delivery. From digital literacy to healthcare, Ayushman Bharat digitally being managed, to GST, general sell tax being digitally managed, to millions of Indians getting digitally literate in the digital literacy program, and about 10.6 million farmers using e-market to sell their farm produce, all is an indication in that direction. Technology keeps on evolving. Its pace and speed overtakes us, at times overwhelms us. But we welcome AI because it has enormous potential to generate development and also bring in further equity and delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very clear about one thing. AI would become meaningful only when it brings in a palpable improvement in the quality of life of ordinary Indians. Therefore, if Digital India was for digital inclusion, we also want AI to further promote that inclusive character of development. And we are very clear that the extraordinary human resource of India, of demographic dividend, which we have been able to leverage over the years, India's IT company becoming globally competitive, we are very, very sure that our artificial intelligence ecosystem is going to promote a large pool of skilled professionals who will be there to manage India's AI ecosystem and also the world. We see in that direction. We have no problem if our friends who are managing AI, startup or corporate, create more, serve more, deliver more, and earn more. But for us, the real meaning of AI would be when it helps to bring cheers, a smile on the life of common people. And I am very proud to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, that our Prime Minister clearly told us that we must apply AI in a very substantial way to improve governance, the processes. In 2018, we came with the idea of our whole team of AI. We have set up many centers of excellence in the entire country, where new startup incubation, sectoral solutions, and intellectual properties have been created. We want to further augment this process. Yes, we are a country of only 1.3 billion plus people, yet our digital profile is also very, very impressive. India is home to only 1.21 billion mobile phone users. Our digital identity Aadhaar is now aggregating 1.26 billion. India's internet is close to 700 million. Our Prime Minister gave us a vision that not only the towns, we need to reach all the villages of India in a mission mode manner to connect fiber to all the villages in 1,000 days. And we are speedily executing it. Obviously, India's young population and the tech-savvy people are going to generate a lot of data. We have already set up a data protection law after the widest consultation possible. It is awaiting parliamentary scrutiny in the select committee. It's going to be finally passed by the parliament very soon. It is a fine amalgam of ensuring data privacy, data safety, data security, and also data innovation and data empowerment. And most important, giving a big fillip to data economy, which India is poised to offer. These are some of the initiatives we have taken for AI. I am very sure that our theme of digital inclusion will also be reflected in artificial intelligence inclusion, an inclusive society. And I have not the slightest idea that, as the Prime Minister said, let us bridge the digital divide always. From digital India to digital AI, this bridging the divide will continue, and India's application of AI will become a beacon for the world. I have not the slightest hesitation that this fine collection of international minds in the coming 5 days is going to give us a lot of solutions where not only India will be empowered, but the world will be happy. My greetings and welcomes to all of you once again. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, if India has been able to create a vibrant digital goods and services tax, a dynamic digital payment, unified payment interface, a unique direct benefit transfer mechanism using biometrics with no leakages, and now a visionary digital health mission launched on Independence Day by the Honorable Prime Minister, and driven radical reforms using cutting-edge technology. It's on account of the foresight, vision and technological worldview of the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. No one understands the power of the use of technology and artificial intelligence to transform lives of Indians and of citizens across the world better than the Prime Minister of India. I would now request the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to kindly give his inaugural address.
Distinguished guests from India and abroad, Namaste. Welcome to Raise Responsible AI for Social Empowerment Summit. This is a great effort to encourage discussion on artificial intelligence. You all have rightly highlighted aspects relating to technology and human empowerment. Technology has transformed our workplaces. It has improved connectivity. Time and again, technology has helped us solve key challenges. I am sure this merger between social responsibility and AI will enrich AI with human touch. Friends, artificial intelligence is a tribute to human intellectual power. The power to think enabled humans to make tools and technologies. Today, these tools and technologies have also acquired the power to learn and think. In this, one key emerging technology is AI. The teamwork of AI with humans can do wonders for our planet. Friends, at every step of history, India had led the world in knowledge and learning. In today's age of IT and as well, India is making outstanding contributions. Some of the brightest tech leaders belong to India. India has also proved to be the powerhouse of the global IT services industry. We will continue to digital excel and delight the world. Friends, in India, we have experienced that technology improves transparency and service delivery. We are home to the world's largest unique identity system, Aadhaar. We also have the world's most innovative digital payment system, UPI. This has enabled providing access to digital services, including financial services like direct cash transfer to the poor and marginalized. In the pandemic situation, we saw how India's digital readiness was of great help. We reach out to the people with help at the earliest and in the most efficient manner. India is rapidly expanding its optical fiber network. The aim is to provide every village with high-speed internet connectivity. Friends, now we want India to become a global hub for AI. Many Indians are already working on this area. I hope many more do so in the times to come. Our approach to this is powered by core principle of teamwork, trust, collaboration, responsibility, and inclusivity. Friends, India has recently adopted the National Education Policy 2020. It focuses on technology-based learning and skilling as a major part of education. E-courses will also be developed in various regional languages and dialects. This whole effort will benefit from natural language processing capabilities AI platforms. We launch Responsible AI for Youth program this year in April. Under this program, more than 11,000 students from schools completed the basic course. They are now building their AI projects. Friends, the National Educational Technology Forum is being formed. This will create an e-education unit to boost the digital infrastructure, digital content and capacity. Virtual labs are being established to provide hands-on experience to learners. We have also launched the Atal Innovation Mission to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. Through these steps, we aim to keep pace with emerging technology for people's benefit. Friends, I would also like to mention about the National Program on Artificial Intelligence. This will be dedicated towards rightful use of AI for solving problems of society. It will be implemented with the support of all stakeholders. RAISE can be a platform to brainstorm in this regard. I invite all of you to actively participate in these efforts. Friends, there are a few challenges that I would like to pose to this august audience. Can we use artificial intelligence for the optimal management of our assets and resources? At some places, resources are idle, while in other places, there is a shortage of resources. Can we dynamically reallocate them to find optimal use? Can we delight our citizens with proactive and prompt delivery of services at their doorsteps? Friends, the future belongs to the youth, and every youngster matters. Each child has unique talents, capabilities, and aptitudes. At times, the right person ends up at the wrong place. There is a way we can change that. How about every child observing him or herself while growing up? Can parents, teachers, and friends carefully observe children? Observe them from their childhood, the start of adulthood, and keep a record of them. This will go a long way in helping a child discover his or her natural calling. Those observations can be effective guiding force for youngsters. Can we have a system which gives an analytic report on the aptitude of each child? This would open doors of opportunity for many youngsters. Such human resource mapping will have long-lasting benefits in governments and businesses. Friends, I see a big role for AI in empowering agriculture, healthcare, education, creating next generation urban infrastructure, and addressing urban issues like reducing traffic jams, improving sewage systems, and laying our energy grids. It can be used for making our disaster management system stronger. It can even be used to solve the problem of climate change. Friends, our planet is blessed with several languages. In India, we have several languages and dialects. Such diversity makes us a better society. As Professor Raj Reddy just suggested, why not use AI to seamlessly bridge language barriers? let us think about simple and effective ways of how AI can empower Divyang sisters and brothers. Friends, why not use AI for knowledge sharing? There are few things as empowering as making knowledge, information and skills easily accessible. Friends, it remains our collective responsibility to ensure trust in how AI is used. Algorithm transparency is key to establishing this trust. Equally important is accountability. We must protect the world against weaponization of AI by non-state actors. Friends, while we discuss AI, let also have no doubts that human creativity and human emotions continue to be our greatest strength. They are our unique advantage over machines. Even the smartest of AI cannot solve mankind's problems without blending with our intellect and empathy. We should also think of how we will retain this intellectual edge over machines. We should ensure that we take care so that human intelligence is always a few steps ahead of AI. We should think about how AI can help humans to increase their own capabilities. I want to state again, AI will unlock the unique potential of each person. It will empower them to contribute more effectively to society. Friends, here at RAISE 2020, we have created a global forum for the world's leading stakeholders. Let us exchange ideas and chart a common course for the adoption of artificial intelligence. It is critical that all of us work together as partners for this. I thank you for coming together to participate in this truly global event. I wish the Global Summit all success. I'm sure that the discussions over the next 4 days will help create an action roadmap for responsible AI, a roadmap that can truly help transform lives and livelihoods across the world. My best wishes to you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. We are extremely grateful to you for this inspirational address. I would now like to request Sri Ajay Sahani, Secretary, maybe to kindly deliver a vote of thanks.
Respected Honorable Prime Minister, respected Honorable Minister for Electronics and IT Communications and Law and Justice, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, respected Guru Professor Raj Reddy ji, respected Shri Mukesh Ambani ji, respected Shri Arvind Krishna ji, and my senior respected colleague Shri Amitabh Kant ji. I thank you all for gracing the inaugural session and setting such a wonderful tone for the Global AI Summit RAISE 2020. The addresses have been so inspiring, and I am sure all the participants would have benefited tremendously from the futuristic, visionary and fundamental aspects of what all lies ahead of us through artificial intelligence. The pioneering work that is being done is just the tip of the iceberg, and many, many more transformational aspects are in store. I especially thank our Honorable Prime Minister for mentioning the nationwide digital platforms like Aadhaar and UPI, and so many ways in which AI can bring transformation into education, into social, economic, government sectors, benefit children, youngsters, Divyangs, benefit all our citizens and businesses. Sir, I thank you for sharing your inspiring vision along with your expectation that we will make India a global hub for AI. It's an extremely motivating factor for all of us. And sir, we assure you that we will do our best to make sure that this vision is put into practice and is realized fully. We are grateful to our Honorable Minister for Electronics and IT, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji. He has empowered us to take on a large number of initiatives in AI, especially his focus on inclusive AI and making sure that every single person in India gets benefited is very, very inspiring for all of us. Under his guidance, we have implemented world-class platforms, and we assure you that we will spare no efforts to implement national program on AI with a Team India spirit and in close collaboration with the industry, startups and the academia. We are extremely grateful to Turing Awardee and Padma Bhushan Shri Professor Raj Reddy ji for sharing his deep insights on AI. He has been one of the earliest pioneers and leading thinkers of artificial intelligence. Many of the current leaders in AI across all the continents have been his students. His rich experience in this field will serve as a wonderful beacon to guide us, and his efforts, especially to bring digital technology to the people on the other side of the digital divide, the ones who do not have the benefits of technology today, are really exemplary. His presence here today is very inspiring. Thank you, sir. We are thankful to Shri Mukesh Ambani ji, Chairman Reliance and Jio Platforms, for his presence here today. His immense contribution in the digital space is well known, and the timeliness of his ventures speaks for his vision and leadership. We are extremely grateful to Chairman IBM Shri Arvind Krishna ji for gracing the occasion. As the Chief CEO of IBM, he has made India proud. He represents the stellar contribution that Indian talent continues to make at the frontiers of technology, cutting across countries. Under his leadership, IBM continues to grow stronger, and I'm sure it will contribute many innovations in the field of AI. I remain grateful to Shri Amitabh Kant for his presence and his constant support and guidance for all our efforts. I also thank the organizing team led by Shri Abhishek Singh for their tireless efforts to prepare for this global summit. We all look forward to the upcoming sessions, which include brilliant keynote speakers and thought-provoking panel discussions. I'm sure they will be knowledge enriching, and that this event will remain as a memorable experience for all the speakers and participants. Thank you all once again. Jai Hind.